we've been working on this a lot of years, and it's sort of fun to have uh, what I call the edge, the ultimate edge, being able to look at the market and put some
Uh,
dollars at risk and hopefully
uh,
take some more
uh,
out.
I'll tell you what, Tom, if you didn't do this, I don't know what I'd be doing because without you doing this, I wouldn't have gotten involved in this. So please do not float that nightmare again. I'm not interested in that. I want to sleep well tonight.
No, I love it. I mean, think about it, Chuck. I got up at 5 this morning, right? I got up at 5. I did my TNT stuff. I went through that. I went to the gym, worked out, came back, looked at the market. So it's going to be a good day. And then, we went through the RB3. We had a little overview today with the SPX. Then we had what did you think about train and trade today, Chuck? Wasn't that pretty neat? Train and
Yeah,
trade?
I thought that was great, and the way the market's been moving, it certainly opens up. I think we're going to have more to talk about tomorrow, to be honest with you, after the PPI. So
Yeah. And by the way, folks, who don't know, Chuck is going to tell you tomorrow, he's going to connect CPI with PPI and tell you what all that means fundamentally for you. And, we were at 64.02 1 minute prior to the news announcement on Tuesday morning, and now we're at 64.86, been as high as 65.02. So it's pretty interesting, when you think about it from that concept. But the nice thing about it, and I'll tell you this, the nice thing about I got friends and and you're exercising your mind. That's a hidden value of being involved in the market, exercising your mind because you stay sharp. I mean, it's amazing what you can do by staying involved, And Chuck, I still say I've had ribs all over the world. Those dreamland ribs I had with you on Thursday night in Mobile, nothing touches them. They're just fantastic, those ribs. And I was thinking about those today. Don't need. I'm glad I can't go get some right now because I'm telling you they were good.
I'm curious though, was it the ribs or was it the sauce? Come on now, which one?
Probably the sauce. That sauce.
There you
Can
go.
you believe he started that? People have known. Alabama's known for football, but Bear Bryant was a legend, still is in that state. And he used to take his football team over in Tuscaloosa to the Dreamland Barbecue. Now they got it in all the major cities. Look what Roger Sessions just posted in the room. How does that make you feel? Roger Sessions benefited by taking the time to learn what we do. Look at what he did this week so far. You see that? You
Yeah,
see that?
yeah.
Copy and paste and show it to everybody. Copy and paste that, or you or Adam or John, show it to everybody.
Let me see if I can get that in. And let's see. So this is
I am
what
so
Roger just
glad
posted.
that I'm so glad that doctor convinced me to come out of retirement and teach what I knew about futures. It's
Uh,
just it's just powerful to watch these people what they're doing.
Listen, Tom, on the face of it, that's really impressive. I do have a quick question for Roger, though, because it's slash MES. Is he talking about the micros? Because then I'm really impressed.
Yeah,
That's
he's
like,
talking about the micros. That's what he's trading. The micro. Yep, that's what he's talking about.
wow. Yeah,
Yep.
wow.
David's here. David was at our first class that we had live from those first 10 people that started this thing where I started teaching again. We got a heck of a curriculum now, Chuck. God, it's great. We had to rebuild the whole thing because it's so old. We've been out of it for 4 or 5 years, right? On the future side, you know.
Yeah, I think that just from where we were, and for those of you who don't know, when I first started with Tom, and when Tom first started to say I'm going to teach a class, we would have two people in a tiny little office room. It basically we were doing two students at a time. I remember when we went up to three, the demand was so great. This man actually decided to build an entire building with amphitheater seating because that's where the demand was. And now that we can do everything online, it's just so much more flexibility, and getting more and more people involved is amazing. When you think back, Tom, to teaching 2 students for an entire week. Like we would be there, you take them out to barbecue on Sunday night, do the Sunday night meals. We do the training on Monday, training on Tuesday, maybe go out to another meal on Wednesday, and go from that to here. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, Chuck, and we were over there at we called it the small classrooms. We moved over to the DTI building and all. But, you look back on it and you think about some of the things that, does anybody here use Ninja Trader? Let me ask that question. Anybody here use Ninja Trader? Ninja Trader? Anybody use them? I bring that up because Ninja Trader, they used to sponsor me at these shows and stuff when I go out, and years ago, then Ninja Trader I think sold for like $500 million to some other company. Okay, but I'm using Ninja Trader. I opened an account over there with them, but I tell you, it's pretty interesting how Ninja Trader was around all those years ago, and I like the way, I like the way you can display the domes and stuff, okay, to trade futures with. It's pretty nice. But my buddy Tom Sosnoff, he started Tasty Trade, okay, and Tasty Trade was I think a real good educational way to learn things. Yep. So anyway, that's a little bit of history. I'm glad everybody's here. So everybody having a good day? Let me ask that question. Is everybody having a good day? I'll get into it, but I'm going to tell you, I've traded everything that would move for the last 40 something years. The hardest thing that I think I've ever traded in my career is this SPX option. And I'll tell you a little bit of story and we'll get into it. But I finally figured it out after a month. Fred was in for a one-on-one and he's wanting to trade the SPX. I said, Fred, I don't trade that. I trade the XSP. And I started working on it. I think I got something that's going to really make your life a lot better, because I went through a lot of trades to figure it out. It took a full month. Usually I can catch on things. Usually I can catch on things pretty quick, but it took me over a month of trading a lot of different times with the 0-day options. So anyway, that's something we didn't have years ago. We got today, 0-day. Anyway, everybody's in a great mood. Thank you for being here. First of all, I want to thank you. I'm Tom Busby, and you're looking at my free Telegram channel you can be part of. Chuck told me we have 125,000 people that's in T-Buzz TV. I guess they like the fact that my longest talk in the morning is 2 minutes. I get to the point, don't I, on T-Buzz TV? I mean, pretty good. Way to go. Way to go in your XSP. Good job, Wall. Good job. Way to go, Jim. You had a good day too. Look what Jim did. Look at all these students do, folks. I can teach you, that's for sure. I show people and I read this. Just look what Dr. Jeanette did. Dr. Jeanette. She started coming about a month and a half, 2 months ago, right? Look at her today. Who says doctors can't make money trading? I got a couple right there. Show horses. Way to go. All right, I'm going to get started for everybody here. Thank you for coming. Did everybody get a copy of the slides? Did everybody get a copy of the slides where you could, print it off and go along with it, huh? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, risks involved in trading. We know about that. That's the part that you got to learn how to have discipline to take the risk to get the reward. Good way of saying it. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Hey, folks, I'm Tom Busby, active trader since the 70s, maybe too active at times, former member of Chicago Mercantile Exchange, author of 3 books, and I work with students since 1996. Chuck's been with me the whole way. 1996. 3 books: Winning the Day Trading Game, The Markets Never Sleep, and Trade to Win. And somebody checked the price of Winning the Day Trading Game. I've been in shock when I saw how low it was on Amazon. That book there, if you can get it, those prices they're selling, you ought to get it. Hold on to it. You run into me, make me sign it. It'll be worth some money. I think it's one of the best books written about trading out there. Now, of course, I didn't write it. My cousin wrote it. I just told her what to write. Markets Never Sleep was ahead of its time. That's where we are today. If you look at the markets, they're trading 24 hours, and that's good. And then, of course, the markets, the attitudes you got to have. You got to be positive. You got to be positive. Look at that glass like it's half full. Trade to win. Anybody have any friends that's negative Nancy's? Let me give you my advice. So this is my friendly advice, dear Tom. If you got a friend that's a negative Nancy, get a new friend. They bring you down, these negative Nancy's. I don't hang around with negative Nancy's. Train and trade. How successful has train and trade been in August? Y'all tell me, do you like it? Tell me, do you like the fact I'm coming every day at 11 o'clock? Type in here, yes. It's better than what you thought. You love it, right? You know, I was talking to Chuck, and he said he knows we've done this for years, and it's the first time we teamed up again after all these years, and the numbers keep growing, folks. The numbers keep going. Look what Frank from California did. Are you copy and paste this? Don't sit there, if you're listening to me, if you're Adam or you're Chuck or you're John, don't sit there and you see something like that go by. They need to see that. Way to go, Frankie boy from California. Monday through Friday, I'll be there tomorrow at 11. You're invited, in my opinion. In my opinion, we're looking at higher prices in the market. And having a game plan to start today is what I'm known for, and I lay it out for you in TNT every morning, in my opinion. That's where the market stays. It keeps growing, 8.99%, 12.5. Dow's moving, finally got over 484. Look at the DAX 21. The American markets are gaining relative to the European markets. Gold is holding at 29. Did anybody tell you that crude was going to fall like it did? Did anybody at all, y'all know, started telling you about crude was going to have a down year? Yep, look at it. 12%. Did anybody tell you that bonds are going to go higher? They're starting up. Look at the bonds, up 2%. Good stuff. My 10 plays for the week: PLTU. PLTU. That's one of my plays for the week. That's a dividend stock that I like. NVIDIA above 184.55. How about Reddit? That's sort of the star of the week. We did it today. It's at 235.72. 235.72. How about the TQQ? We've hit it a couple times already. 92.55. I said you ought to be long, and you have been. SPY. How about this? 638. Now you had this Sunday night because you can't say you got it late, can you? With Sunday night's planning session. Look at that stuff. Look at that stuff. That's pretty impressive. Keep your eye on Cisco. I think it's going to break out to the north side too. I got to check it. Cisco. Somebody type Cisco's price in here, but Cisco, I just feel like Cisco's getting ready to run also. Today, I want to help you master one of the most fundamental skills in the entire stock market. Take a look at that image. Can everybody see that image? I had to look real close. The Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500. S&P 500 is huge. S&P is the biggest, most powerful index on the planet. I've been trading the futures for a lot of years, the SPY for a lot of years. SPX is a new, about 2 years old, new thing. 54 trillion in total market cap, about the size of the GDPs of the United States, China, UK, and Canada combined. Huge. It's huge. Without question, S&P is the biggest, most powerful financial instrument in the world. It's critical that you know how to trade it once in a while, not just once in a blue moon, but every single day. I will tell you to follow. What I'm going to teach you, if I had to put a dollar amount on it, it's a lot. It would cost you a lot of money to get where I got to in a month. It is one hard index to trade. Anybody here ever traded SPX? I'm talking about a simple call, simple put. Anybody ever traded it? Bugs is tough, isn't it? Brian, is tough, isn't it? It is one tough market. I'm going to give you some thoughts. Hope you can be there with me every single day. In fact, if you can't trade SPX, you won't be a successful trader because you do have to make decisions. You got to prep. You got to have a direction, okay? And you got to have a plan. I got all that together now. Most traders go wrong. You see, you've probably been told no wisdom about the S&P 500. You can't beat the market. They say the only way you can see the success of the S&P 500 is dump a whole bunch of money in there and wait 10, 20, 30 years, let the long-term trend pay you. But we proved that wrong with what we do. You saw some of that tonight and some of the success that these people were typing in. I think it's hogwash that Wall Street tells people that. They believe it because they want to get your money to some money manager somewhere that he can get a few percentage points. If he's lucky, he gets paid more. Most people don't have that kind of money. A 10% return on 2 million is nice, but what if you only start with 2,000? Think about the small guy growing to 2 million. That's who we're here for. If you're make $200 a year, not much to write home about with inflation where it is these days. If you invested 2,000 in the most recent trade, I sent my readers on it. ETF, it tracks exactly the S&P 500. $285 payout in 1 day. That's a year. And then you got to ask yourself this question: would you rather get paid in a day or in a year? I'd rather get paid in a day and come back for more the next day. Now, beating year-long returns for the buy and hold approach by half overnight points to problem number 2 with you can't beat the market thinking. Most people don't have that kind of time. Most people have jobs and doing other things in their life. You know, they maybe taking care of their grandkids or taking care of their kids. Most people don't have the time. If you're 23-year-olds and have 5,000 drop in the S&P 500 for the next 50 years, probably turn into a pretty penny if you reinvest it. But what about folks who are facing retirement in the coming years and need to catch up? Boy, we're growing on my retirement center, aren't we? We're fully invested here in August, except for a few shuckles. We're doing pretty good. Or what about working parents and grandparents who need a little extra cash to make ends meet? Anybody here need some extra cash every week to pay the expenses that you think they're off the wall right now, just to live, your utility bill, food bills, all the things that were a lot less years ago have become very expensive, hadn't they? You can't afford to sit around and let your assets turn into expenses. You got to use your assets and grow your assets. With my active approach to trading S&P, I don't think you'll have to. You'll be set up because I'm going to teach you how to do it. You take the same 5,000, put it in my recent trade on XSP, that's a 1,752 payout in just 3 days, right? Now let's be very clear. That's not retire overnight kind of money, but it cuts down on those expenses. Go to the grocery store, it doesn't hurt you so bad. But you shouldn't quit your day job either. Beats the heck out of waiting 5, 10, or 20 years for the same type returns. You know, I've spent my career, think about this. Since 1983, I have been trading the futures market, indexes, all that stuff over my whole career. I got some experience, round the clock trading. In fact, with the German equivalent, the S&P wanted someone to teach US students how to trade it. A lot of people don't know this about me. I'm in Mobile, Alabama, not in Chicago where everybody's getting the gigs. I'm in Mobile, Alabama. The Germans came to town. They wanted somebody that traded to teach their DAX index. I got hand selected for 2 years. I went around the country introducing the DAX in a class called Dancing with the DAX. Dancing with the DAX. After 2 years in the American markets, the Germans said they're going to spend their resources on institutions. They figured that their index at the time was too big for America to adapt in a broad way. So I took the course I'd put together and I taught it for the next 18 years, Dancing with the DAX. As I told many of those students, exactly what I'm teaching you, you should know. News trades, you got to know about the DAX. Learning to trade in major indexes is the gateway to goals you want to pursue in trading. Now, I stopped teaching some of this years ago, but I still know the executive summary, what you got to know. In fact, classes like that have been reserved for very top students. People have paid over 25 or more. But right now, more important than ever before, the market's moving around like crazy. I believe the bull markets aren't going anywhere. Get involved. Think about your net worth when you start and where you want to be at the end. Set a goal, make it happen. Now's the time to make it happen. Not always this way. We're in what I would call the perfect time to rebuild your net worth in the stock market. So I put together a master class on the SPX and XSP. It's not like any master class you'll ever take or I'll ever do again. It's the only class I've ever taught my whole career about the SPX. I'm going to show you how to trade it. I'm going to give you some rules. I've got it simple. I don't believe in being complicated. A simple call option, a simple put option. We'll set it up. Here's how it will work. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I'll kick off part 1 of the master class. Once you get there early, maybe 9:45, but be there in the morning if you're part of this master class. I'll cover the basics of why it's necessary, what you got to know, from concept, how to get the direction, how to make the trade, the prices to take your profits, the prices you're wrong, and the time you are to stay in. That's tomorrow. Now, what's the difference between the XSP and the SPX? It's a matter of math. The SPX is a big boy. SSP is 1/10 the size. When does it make sense to trade each one? I will explain that tomorrow. There is a time for each of them. That's what this class is going to cover. How can you read the movement of the SPX? I will give you a simple 5-step checklist to get the answer right a minimum of 8 out of 10 times. How valuable would it be to have that directional setup every morning? Tell me if that's valuable to learn that. You tell me. If I can give you 5 things at that time of the morning to look at that will get you right 4 out of 5 times, who's in for that? I'm going to teach it tomorrow. I've got it. I'm ready to go. How to size your trades and manage the risk. I'll teach that portion of it. And most important, two go-to setups for morning trades on SPX and XSP. My publisher already encouraged me to release it for $1,500 or more. I think it's worth more than that. I've never struggled getting down the parameters of an index like this SPX since I've been in the business. But tomorrow morning, I'll teach you to do it. You'll be practicing doing it. Next Thursday, we'll come back and do session 2, where we'll cover the loss portion of how to stay out, when to stay out, real-time SPX and SSP trade walkthroughs with you, live question and answer with my team will be there, and we're going to do a little live trading with me. Now, these 2 sessions could easily be $497 a piece or way more, but basically give you the keys to my best XSP, SPX strategies in 2 intensive master classes. Now, let's make a deal. I'm not going to charge you $5,000, $2,000, $1,000, $500, but I am going to charge you for this. The final price, though, there's one more bonus I want to do. During both sessions, I'll cover one of the powerful new weapons to enter a trader's arsenal in recent years, mastering 0-day expiration options. I'll teach you what you need to know, okay? I've gotten tons and tons of questions in recent months. Yes, I will be taping it, Fred. I'd tape it for you if they wouldn't, because you're the reason I'm doing it. I've got tons and tons of questions about it. It's time to get the answers. I said 0-day options are the most valuable gift traders have been given in years. You know what to do with it. It's the Grim Reaper if you don't know what to do with it. We'll answer all those questions. Again, I'm not going to charge you $500 per class. Both sessions, all the education, for the whole price of $200. Guys, what you're going to learn, we will exceed that after 10 minutes when I give you what I know. But here's the catch. I can only allow 199 students into this class. There's a limit. Only a limit. They started buying it today, so I don't know how many's left, but let me tell you something. It's pretty powerful. So if you want to be one, don't hesitate. Go to dtitrader.com/masterclass or call 904-706-3532. Get your access now. Get your access now. There it is, $199, a 2-part class this Thursday and next Thursday from 10 to 11 prior to our trade class, train and trade. But here it is, 14. Now, who's going to take me up on this? I'm only counting down. Let me know if you're going to do this, because I'm putting it out there for you. You tell me you're going to be there. I want to know who's going to be there. Let me know who's going to be there. 10 o'clock, not 9 a.m. $199, a 2-part live training. Plus, I'll give you 5 trades after the 2 classes. How you like that bonus? Okay? 5 trades. Right there. 904-706-3532. Are we at 200 yet? Yes, they will be recorded. Yeah, you can watch the recording. You can watch the recording. Sign up, get in. Monica said, no way you're keeping me out of this class. I just got it. Folks, Frank says he's going to be there. All right. We'll get started at 10, but I'm giving you a little hint. Be there about 15 minutes early. Okay? what you have to do, I'll show people tomorrow how to avoid the day trade, okay? I'll show that people that can't day trade, okay, on the SPX, okay? I got it all figured out for you. I'll give you the rules. Remember, 5 steps. How valuable is this? David says, Jeffrey, will you take the time to take my credit card and give me one of the slots? He's begging you to take his credit card. Anyway, be there at 9:45. Don't be late. People know that about me. Don't ever be late. Y'all remember in Sawgrass when people were told to be there at 8? Some people got there at 7:30, and we'd already put a couple trades in the books. Oh, they'll be given throughout the Tuesday and Thursdays in the month when they set up. Probably take at least a month and a half to get those off on Tuesday and Thursday. You got plenty of time if you want to be part of it. Think about the education. First comes the education, and then comes what you're here for, right? Adam says if you get signed up right now, get signed up. Anybody got any questions? I'm seeing a bunch of people coming on board that filled up the slots. Thank you. Let me tell you, this is not an easy thing. You can listen, you can go on video tube and all that, but I'm telling you, this is the real way to trade the SPX and XSP. Yep. DTItrader.com/masterclass, sign up on your phone. That's exactly what I'm saying, Mel. I'll tell you everything I know and how to do it. Now, again, I repeated this phase for many years. If you can tell time, you got to be able to tell time with this one. If you can tell time, you got it, Fred. If you can tell time, I will show you how this works. I got the parameters set up. I told Jonathan, in fact, about 2 weeks ago, I said, Jonathan, I never traded anything so hard to make money with. And then I changed the time of day, and guess what? In love again. Wow. Adam, you better count those. I don't want to exceed 199, okay? That's great.
Well, yeah. I was about to tell you, we were at 30 whenever you asked me the first time, and we've doubled that since then. So they're going quick.
We're on the final 90. Okay. Final 90.
Also a good time to talk about how valuable the gold is because you get all these kind of things that you do,
Yeah. One of the things that we did today, we made a real push for our gold program. If you put your name, email, and phone number, I'll have Karina, I'll have Kelly and Jeffrey give you a call. Because if you like what I do, let's just put it this way: if you like what I do, you'll save yourself a fortune being a gold member. If you like what I do, if you're just kicking the tires with me, maybe it's not time. Okay. David said, if I offer something for $200, it's worth 10x. Thank you, David, for saying that. That's about right, too. Okay, it's good. Anyway, Jeanette, put your name and phone number, and I'll have Kelly call you, or Karina, or Jeffrey. One of them gets it. All right, so what do we got to remember about tonight's session? Market's going higher, right? We got news in the morning at 8:30. Make sure Dr. Jeanette's called Adam, will you? Okay. And be there a little early for this class starting at 10. Okay. A little early. After that news at 8:30 tomorrow. Kelly should be around, SP. Is Kelly here, Jonathan? Or Adam? Chuck? Jim wants to talk. There's another one.
Kelly's here.
Who's here? Is Karina here?
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Not sure. I know Kelly and Joe.
Kelly and Jeffro? Okay. They'll call you. Keith says, sign me up, Andraka. That's pretty direct. Stacy said, I just signed up. Adam, I think you hit a chord with this one. They filled up my box, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah, Sam said, when Tom says don't be late, there's a reason. It's about money. Sometimes I see trades early and I'll share them with you. All right, folks, we got a market. It's got to get through the 8:30 time frame tomorrow, which is the news coming out. You don't want to miss Chuck's talk on CPI and PPI. And Bitcoin made a new, y'all, would y'all like to have a stock to put in an account that you could just hold on to and I think be okay with? Huh? Donna wants to be signed up. Would y'all like to have that stock to go with? I got one for you tonight if you want it. I've been adding to it every day. It's called ETH. ETH. I like it, but I like PLTW better. Write that down, ETH. Based on a guy that I think knows a lot about this, that stock should hit about $200 a share over the next few years, okay? ETH. I like it, and I want to tell you about it. It's a buy here in August. It fits my criteria to be a buy, and I think it's going to go. ETH. You know what I like about it? It doesn't jack you around a lot. You know, just trends. Just trends. Doesn't shake, rattle, and roll as it goes higher.
That's
It's
ETH.
Echo Tango Hotel. What'd you say, Adam?
I was just clarifying the ticker. Yeah.
Okay. Adam, I can't say I want to thank everybody for having the faith to join me tonight and being there tomorrow. I'm ready to rock and roll. Rock and roll. SPX. Okay. Adam, that's all I got to say. By the way, Adam, the slide presentation tonight was world class. Tell Steven I said that, okay?
Will do.
You notice I like the size of it too, don't
Yep. He knows what you like.
Yeah, Hunter. Hey, Bitcoin just hit a new high. Can you believe that? Goodness gracious. The money's there if you want to educate yourself and find it, folks. Anytime, day or night. I'd get my book, Went into Day Trading Game, my book, Went into Trade, Markets Never Sleep, and Trade to Win. Get those 3 books. Anybody ever price out that book for me on Amazon? I was just curious what it's going for. I was shocked last week when somebody told me. I started to buy up a bunch of them myself.
I just bought a few of them last
You
week.
did?
$8 to $10. Just
It's gone to 30. You tripled your money if you bought last week when I said it was a buy. It's at 30 now. It's going to be about 50 once word gets out that they were giving it away. You bought a bunch last week, Adam? Good. Hey, post a link for my buddy Fred in here, the link for the slides. He needs it. All right, Adam, I think we did it to it. We got people. We'll be there tomorrow. This is fun. This is really fun. Okay. Thank you.